Welcome to the Sales Influence Podcast, where we talk about finding the why in how people buy. I'm your host, Victor Antonio. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for lending me your ears. Today, I want to talk about virtual engagement, but I want to talk about how can you set the tone in a virtual meeting to get everybody on board? You know what I mean? To get everybody super excited about being there. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to pretend for the moment that you're the leader of the event, right? This virtual event, you're the leader. You got 10 people in the room. And you know what happens, that the more people you add, the less likely they are to participate. So what you want to do is make sure that everybody feels included. So how do you do that? Here's the first step number one. I want you to set the tone by going first. You got to set the tone by going first. Here's what I want you to do, just to kind of give everybody a chance to kind of get used to speaking. I want you to start your meeting out like this. I want everyone to give me a 60-second check-in. I'll go first. So in other words, you're setting it up with, you're going to do a 60-second check-in and you're going to have everybody else do their 60-second check-in. So again, you start out, I want everyone to give me a 60-second check-in. Let me go first. Again, good leaders always go first in terms of demonstrating what they want. Then you'll say something like this. Well, business is at about 10% year-over-year growth, which is not bad given the current environment. That's an update. Then you'll say something like this. And the good news is, last week we were able to sign up two great clients, big clients, and what really sold them was our customer service experience. That's a positive note. And then maybe you'll say something like this. And I really want to thank those folks in customer service, you know who you are, for being part of that deal. Now, you next. Dora, can you give us your 60-second check-in? And now you pass it over to Dora. Now, Dora kind of gets it, right? You're setting the tone. It's very positive. It's optimistic. You gave an update. You gave a positive note, customer service, great new clients, and then a sense of appreciation. This kind of lets everybody know what you're looking for in a meeting. And again, this may seem like something really simple and maybe not useful, but I'm telling you, it works. When you get people involved by everybody say, all right, give me 60 seconds, your 60-second pitch, your 60-second update, that forces people to kind of like have to think about, like, oh, what do I say in 60 seconds? And after you do that in the first meeting, you know what's going to happen in the second meeting, right? Everybody's going to say, oh, I better have my 60-second pitch down because I know Victor is going to ask everybody for a 60-second update. And everybody's going to think to themselves, you know what? I need to make sure it's positive. I need to make sure that, we let them know what's going on in the business and we show some appreciation, and it's always positive. Now, imagine you go around the virtual table, so to speak. Let's say you're doing it on Zoom or GoToWebinar, whatever platform you use. Imagine for a moment that everybody's now giving their 60-second update. And all of a sudden, what you're going to get is this positive environment online. And what you're doing as a leader is you're setting the tone that, hey, this is about positive progress. How do we move forward? How do we get better? How do we work as a team? How do we collaborate? That's what this meeting's all about. So by setting the tone right from the beginning, you're going to create a great sales environment or meeting environment. But now let's move over to sales. How would you use it in a sales process? If you're a manager and you're meeting with your sales team, do the same thing. Say, look, want everybody to give me their update this week in sales. Let me go first. Again, business was good. When we're looking at the numbers, what we're seeing is steady growth in this sector, in that sector, in this sector. And I specifically want to highlight that this month we released 2 new products, and right now they're doing exceptionally well. And I want to highlight 2 salespeople who really went beyond the job description to actually perform and do X, Y, Z. Now, Jill, you go next, and then you pass it off. And again, it creates this positive environment. But what you're doing is you're setting an expectation with your sales team that every time you get together, you want an update, you want it to be positive, and you always want them to show some sense of appreciation for their team. Do this, and you will see the difference virtually in your meetings. And that is it for this Sales Influence Podcast. Thank you for joining me. Leave me some feedback on iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube, Spotify, or wherever you're listening to this podcast. Also, if you want to increase your sales velocity, you know the deal. Go to salesvelocityacademy.com. Over 50 courses, 500 videos, all the way from prospecting to closing the deal and everything in between. So if you want to increase your velocity, go to salesvelocityacademy.com. Lastly, I want to thank you for listening. This is Victor Antonio, always reminding you, selenade hard when you know how. Take care. Hi, I'm Victor Antonio. I'm an author, sales trainer, and keynote speaker. I'm often asked, what makes a great speaker? Is it someone who delivers real content that the audience can use? Is it someone who engages the audience so they're part of the learning experience? Or is it someone who can motivate an audience to push them beyond their comfort zone and discover new abilities? The answer is yes. But the most important thing to remember is that I'm not there to look good. I'm there to make my client look good. Simply put, it's never about me, and it's always about them.